teams tend to play to the personality of their head coach. And I've played against Dan Campbell, definitely a fiery, intense competitor.
Tough guy?
Very tough guy.
Which he's bringing to practice.
People know he was a backup tight end.
Yeah, but he was a back.
Yeah,
see, he was never a down the field tight end. He was
a tough guy.
We're going to put you in. We go 2 tight end sets. We're going to run behind you, kind of thing. So he's definitely a tough guy. He brought the Oklahoma drill back his very first practice.
Well, you know what? I wanted to ask you about that. How long does that work for NFL players? I mean, when you have them putting on pads more often and running,
can't put on pads more often.
I know you're limited, but running Oklahoma drills. I mean, does that play well with NFL players over the long haul? I know evidently they had to get tougher.
If you win, you would be surprised what you can get away with.
If you're a free agent, would you want to go there knowing how he treats the players?
If they're winning, and it's Miami, considering we only get 12 padded practices a year, yeah, I could tough it out for 12 days to be in Miami and to win lots of football games. Yeah.
But Oklahoma drill every day at training camp and all season long. But yeah, you can put up with it once or twice when he's trying to set an example.
Right. You know what I think it's done? I think it's made them tough. They've gone back to the running game more. They're using Lamar Miller more, so they're not relying so much on Tannehill, and that's probably a good thing.
Smart, yes.
So it's made them tougher, and it's made them more confident, and it's made their running game better.
Yeah,
I'm laughing while you're talking about this. I got a stat for you guys that you're not going to believe. Tannehill set the NFL record for 25 consecutive complete passes, and only threw one incompletion on Sunday.
He was 18 of 19 yesterday.
Yeah. Do you know what his yards per pass play is?
Well, didn't he have 4 plays over 50 yards?
2.8 yards.
I thought he had a bunch of
2.8 yards. That's Steve DeBerg kind of numbers.
Well, who am I thinking of then? Who had all those 50-yard plus passes yesterday?
But I mean, I'm saluting him for being able. I don't care if nobody's on the. Tim Tebow couldn't have done that on the field
with no defenders out there, right?
So I give him, and I'm admitting to him what it was, but I'm just stunned that you can complete that many. But who's ever heard of 2 yards per pass attempt? It's
trying to keep him confident.
I mean, that is a bad running average. But Tannehill, Lamar Miller came back from the dead or arrived. I don't know which one it was, but Sue is finally, he had 2 sacks. Sue's finally playing.
It's only 2 sacks. It's only sacks of the year.
When you said that, I thought, yeah, you're reflective of your personality, and you had a passive-aggressive, wimpy kind of coach in Joe Philbin who couldn't figure out that offensive line thing 2 years ago and said, I don't know what's going on. I had nothing to do with it. And you wanted to fire him from the first game.
Yeah.
He just didn't have a clue of what to do with that. I mean, he was a good coach in Minnesota who didn't belong as a head coach. He's kind of like, even though his numbers are bad, Wade Phillips never was a head coach. He was an interim coach. That should have been his name, interim Wade Phillips. Joe Philbin wasn't any good as a head coach. They got a tough guy in there. They needed tough love, and he's showing them that. And what happened was they had that bye date right after he took over, so they were able to change the mentality. Then they play a pretty bad Tennessee team, and Mariota's hurt. Then they play a really lousy Houston team that you've talked about. Everybody thought they were going to have a good defense. It was a hard knocks kind of thing, and they're not any good. And 41 points they trailed by was not even the worst they've trailed this season. They were behind in the game 42 points. They're awful. They're the worst team in the league.
The Texans are real. Yeah.
So now
the quarterback can't even get on the team flights.
But I'm going to give you a question. They're playing at New England Thursday night. Who do you like in that game?
I love New England. I'd love New England in that game.
How do you bet against New England at home? You know they've won 46 out of their last 50 games at home.
Yes.
Tom Brady is playing.
But I mean, you've got this team on this stage you talk about. On this
but it's still
high emotional.
It's AFC East.
It's
New England at home.
They're not on a mission from God. They just happen to be lucky to get a new coach with 2 bad teams after that.
The last guy that played there that was on a mission from God got his chest hurt in the playoff game. Tim Tebow was on a mission from God. I think it's going to be because the Jets kind of figured out a little something you can do against it.
No. I see that game the opposite way. I see the Patriots decided we can play jet football and we can beat them. The Jets want to be the most physical team in the league. The Patriots played a physical game. They didn't go out there and try to light them up with all this passing. They played a more physical
Well,
brand of
not only
football.
that, if they didn't drop.
Chad, they threw 50. They ran the ball 5 times.
But now
they passed it more than 50 times. You said they were not going to pass it everywhere. That's all he did. They didn't run.
But I contend the only reason that game was close is because New England kept dropping passes.
Right.
They shot themselves in the foot.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I was talking about the defense side of the ball.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, because I'm saying they passed the football and just over and over and over again. In the fourth quarter, they said, well, that's their 5th run of the game. But, I mean, when Tom Brady leads your team in rushing,
right.
you know, and at the end of the game, he said, really? This is the first time I've led my team in rushing?
That segment brought to you by John Elway.